Welcome to Passive Cash Flow, a channel dedicated to guiding you towards financial independence through sustainable passive income streams. Today, we are happy to share with you a simple strategy that everyone should follow to build wealth. The best thing is that this strategy is very easy to implement, but few people know about it. By following this strategy, you can ensure that you invest your money correctly throughout your life and really make it work for you. It's important to remind yourself that long-term strategic investing is really the way to build wealth. As Warren Buffett said, if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. Today, we're sharing a strategy that will do exactly that. And we'll give you some real-life examples to help visualize how you can implement this in your investment choices. This strategy is also known as the other people's money strategy and is explained in the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, which I highly recommend to any beginner investor. This is a must-read for anyone who wants to learn about investing and building wealth. So how does this strategy work? Let's take a real-life example and imagine that you want to buy a house. The house itself is an asset, which means it can bring you money over time. However, it requires a large amount of capital to purchase. Instead of using your own money to buy a house, you can use other people's money, abbreviated as OPM, to finance the house purchase. This way, you can keep your money invested in other assets to generate higher returns. By using OPM, you can leverage your investment and increase your profits. This is the essence of the OPM strategy. If you want to learn more about the OPM strategy and how you can use it to build wealth, I suggest you read the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. It is a great resource for anyone who wants to learn about investing and building wealth. Let's say you want to purchase a debt, but you don't have enough capital to do so. Instead of using your own money, you can use OPM to fund the purchase. This way, you can keep your money invested in other assets to generate higher returns. By using OPM, you can leverage your investment and increase your profits. For example, imagine you have the opportunity to purchase an old but classic 10-room boutique hotel that's about to go into foreclosure. But there's something missing. Could it be cash? You can use OPM to finance the purchase of the hotel. This way, you can keep your own money invested in other assets to generate higher returns. By using OPM, you can leverage your investment and increase your profits. You'll be glad to know that you can still have the car, but you'll need to do something first. Instead of buying the car directly for $100,000, invest that capital into an income-generating asset. This could be anything from real estate, shares, funds, peer-to-peer lending, bonds, or anything that will make money for you. Have that income-generating asset work for you over time. By doing this, somebody else is making money for you, even when you're asleep. This is otherwise known as passive income. Now, you can use the money from your income-generating asset to pay for your liability, in this case, the car. Let's say you invest that $100,000 into a buy-to-let property to get it to cash flow healthily. You'll probably want to take out an interest-only mortgage, but that's a discussion for a whole other video. You found a tenant, they've moved in, and they're now paying you a monthly rent for living in your property. By taking that monthly income you get from the house, the asset, you can now use that income to fund the lease of your car. The liability you may have to physically pay the monthly fees, but you're using other people's money to do this. The OPM strategy. The money comes in and flows straight back out as an expense. You purchased a liability in the car, but you're not having to pay for it, your tenant is. The car will depreciate over time. You might hand it back or trade it in for an upgrade years down the line, but this whole time you've not had to fork out of your own wallet to do any of this. Instead, you're using other people's money. It is important to note that this strategy is not without risk and it requires careful planning and execution. However, if done right, it can be a powerful tool for building wealth. Investing in assets to buy debt will allow you to achieve this. If you're considering buying property as an asset, it's important to do your research and choose the right location. For example, if you're looking for rental yields, you might want to avoid London, where rental yields are low in comparison to other places in the UK. Instead, you could consider investing in big cities like Liverpool or Manchester, where property prices are much cheaper and rental yields are higher. Investing in startups versus FTSE 100 companies may return higher yields as well, but there is much more risk associated with this. The risk-reward payoff of what you invest in is dependent on your ability and willingness to take on risk. Not only is real estate a great investment in general, but tenants most often pay monthly. So, if you're trying to finance a liability like a car on a monthly basis, you'd ideally want to find a source of income that equals this payout frequency. You may still have an equity that pays biannually to fund this, but you'd probably find that the funds are sitting in your bank account for a long period of time. In any case, I'd probably recommend a buy-to-let property that pays monthly or even a monthly paying ETF or equity. This, however, isn't the end of the OPM strategy. Backseat investors is a more advanced technique that I would recommend for a more experienced investor. Many people have built wealth by purchasing real estate without having to invest any of their own money. You might ask how you can even do this. Well, instead of investing all the money themselves, they have a backer or investor source the funds to buy the property. These investors allow the purchaser, you, to handle all of the technicalities managing the property, tenants, and anything related to the day-to-day operational management of the asset. In return, the investor will receive a return on the asset or have the loan paid off with interest. They are known as the limited partners, the backseat investor, that is content on making a consistent return on their investment. While you, the general partner, puts in the hard work and effort of personally managing the asset to make sure it's well maintained and its returns are maximized. This is less passive, as you have to put in the work to make sure the asset is generating a return, but you're still making money and building wealth through the OPM strategy. So there you have it. The OPM strategy, buying liabilities through investing in assets using other people's money. Let me know in the comments below if you've used the strategy before or if you've read Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. What did you take away from it? If you've learned something useful in this video, hit the like button to let me know. Subscribe to my channel if you've enjoyed the content so far, and if you're new here, feel free to check out my other videos on investing and personal finance. I'll leave a link in the video description below or click on the top right-hand corner to see some of my other content. Thanks again, have a great weekend, and until next time, see ya.